Well, Happy New Year, my fellow property managers. I can't believe it's 2025. This is our first video coming out in 2025. Video number 199. Actually, I can't believe we're about to hit that number. And as we start the new year, a common question I'm asked is, Mark, what should my meeting cadence be in my business? Like how often should I be meeting with my team? Because some people say it's all the time. Other people say, no, the meetings are too often. My people complain about it, but I feel I need to give them information. So let me just give you a couple thoughts that we do in our business. Now, there is no one size solution fits all for meetings. You have to decide what works best for you. But I think there are some best practices around the types of meetings and whether or not they're essential. So let me walk through three specifically that I think you need to be aware of. One is, and this is common just in the last couple years, commonly referred to as the daily huddle. So Mark, we have a daily huddle. Every morning we get our team members together and we talk about the challenges of the day, maybe some current work orders we're facing, and we do that every day. It kind of gets us off on a good foot. Okay, I get that. The daily huddle, I think if you're a small company, maybe there's 2, 3, 4, 5 of you, and you're all doing it all, that's where there's some value to this, because it's going to be like, hey, who's doing showings today? Who wants to take care of that maintenance issue that's kind of hanging out there? So there's some value potentially that way, but the value comes because you haven't really clarified who's doing what. When your organization grows in size a little bit and you get to the point that people have very clear defined roles and they walk in the door every morning understanding what they need to do that day, then you don't need to do the daily huddle. So my recommendation is simply this: as quickly as is possible, get to the point that you don't need the daily huddle. Because I think the daily huddle is basically a way to jump over some of problems that you're probably not fixing. There are better fixes for that. So if you do it and you love it, fine, I'm not telling you to stop. But I think as your business scales, it's not practical. We've got 30 people in our organization. We can't do a daily huddle with that many people, and I would never want to do that. It would drive me crazy. My people know what to do when they come in every morning. I don't need to ask them what's going on or give them the rah-rah every morning. So my recommendation, stop it when you can. Now, meeting number 2 that we do in our office that is essential to us is a weekly vacancy delinquency meeting. This is every Wednesday, 10 o'clock a.m. in the conference room. All of our property managers, our accounting team who does rent collections, and our leasing team. And we quickly go through every vacancy with a quick status update. And when I say quickly, I mean like we're spending 30 to 45 seconds on each vacancy. What's the status? Are we getting a lot of interest? Do we need to drop the rent? Okay, next one. What's the status? Is it ready to go? What's the feedback on the calls? Do we need to drop the rent? Next one. That's on the vacancy side. Then we go through our delinquents. What are the delinquent accounts that are more than 30 days delinquent? And what's happening with them? John's supposed to pay on Tuesday. Okay, great. If he doesn't come in Tuesday, send the demand notice off the attorney. Let's get that eviction process started. Same thing. We're going 60 seconds max on these. So this is 1 hour maximum timeline. I may give a few other updates just on big general broad principles to our team. But for us, this is essential. We do this every Wednesday without fail, 10 a.m. I think almost regardless of your size, well, that's not true. When you get too big, you probably couldn't do this. We've tweaked the format of this meeting as our company's gotten bigger. But this is an important meeting for us. I think you should do it. It keeps things moving on your vacancies and your delinquencies. Now, meeting number 3 is what we call our all-team meeting. One time per month, everybody gets together. It's the 3rd Wednesday of each month at 10 a.m. So we push our weekly vacancy delinquency meeting back on the 3rd Wednesday of every month, because instead of the weekly vacancy delinquency, we move into the all-team meeting. Now, the agenda for the all-team meeting is set. It's run by me. It's not a, hey, how's your week going? What do you think we should be doing? It's me giving information. There's a typical agenda we're following. I'm giving some updates on things, maybe some legal updates, some numbers as it relates to the company. This is a great way, though, to ensure we all take a couple hours, get together. I shouldn't say a couple hours. It's 1 to 2 hours max that way. So let me give you a couple aspects, and we believe, by the way, we believe that's essential. We believe that is an essential meeting. We will never stop doing that. Those are very, very important to us. So a couple best practices around meetings. Now, one thing I'm not talking about here, and you've probably heard me talk about them in the past, if you've listened to me for any period of time, are one-on-one meetings. I'm talking about more general meetings with more people in place. We do weekly one-on-ones with every single team member, every week. 30-minute one-on-one. Go back, you can find information on us talking about that. I'm not going to get into the details here, but that's how we manage our team, through weekly one-on-ones. I do a weekly one-on-one with my 2 VPs who report to me. Every Tuesday, 10 o'clock a.m., we're doing those one-on-ones. I encourage you to do one-on-ones. Jump into our information. So before I share a couple best practices just around the whole concept of these meetings, I want to thank the sponsor for this video, Leadsimple. One reason that we can take the time to get everybody together and do the meetings is because we don't always have to worry about the emergency phone ringing with the emergency call coming in and the water heater blew up. Nobody ever says on a weekly meeting, I never say, well, where's Susan? Oh, well, Susan was on the phone last night from 3 to 5 a.m. about the water heater that blew up. Stop taking after-hours emergency calls. Leadsimple can take those calls for you. They can also take the calls during the day if you want them. They can dispatch vendors if you want them. They can handle the invoicing. They can handle all of the maintenance problems you face in their software. They've been around a long time, great reputation. Reach out to them, jump on their website, leadsimple.com. Tell them Marc sent you, get the demo, but find out how they can basically help you sleep better at night and by taking care of all of the maintenance junk that you're dealing with right now. So a couple quick best practices as it relates to meetings. Number one, only include the necessary people. Don't get everybody into a meeting that everybody doesn't need to be at. We're only talking vacancies and delinquencies. That means if you don't touch vacancies and delinquencies in our office, you're not at the weekly vacancy delinquency meeting. Because why? It's a waste of their time. So look at everybody who's in that whatever meeting it is, and if they don't need that information, don't waste their time. Send them out of the meeting, tell them they don't need to attend this meeting any longer. You want the minimum necessary people in each meeting. Secondly, start and end on time. I mean, meetings are just a disaster the way some companies run meetings. You're the boss, you should be running the meetings. That means if you say the meeting starts at 9 a.m., you need to tell everybody, hey guys, I want you in here, sit down with your notebook ready to go at 8:55. The meeting will start at 9. Like at 9 o'clock, when the clock strikes 9, I'm going to say, okay, here we go, everybody. And if somebody comes wandering in 35 seconds later, yeah, I'm going to kind of pause and look at them, and I'm going to look at my watch and do one of those and then keep going. And then if they do that again, I'm going to say something. Why? Because meetings start on time and they end on time. If you're running the meeting, that's up to you, the meeting organizer. You start it the moment the clock strikes, and you tell them what time you will end it. And if you don't get through all the information, too bad, you didn't get through. You must end on time because people have other places to go. Third, have an agenda and stick to it. That means it's not just a matter of going around with everybody sharing their best idea of the day. Now, if it's a best idea of the day meeting, with that being the agenda, fine. But most of your meetings are going to have specific agendas, and you need to stick to it. Don't find yourself doing this towards the end of the meeting. Be like, well, anybody else have anything? Because they're all going to have something. Someone's going to be like, yeah, I got a question. Are we taking off early on Thursday? Like, don't open this up. This is not a free-for-all type of a thing. It's the agenda. Stick to the agenda. Stick to the meeting. And it's not conversational necessarily, unless the purpose is to have it that way. So those are just some thoughts on best practices for meetings. Hey, as you step into 2025, I want to share with you a couple things. Number one, if you haven't jumped on our website, pmbuild.com, to check out the events that I will be attending. There's some really good conferences in 2025 that I've put on my calendar where I will make sure I'm attending. The NARPM National, there's a Cal NARPM, events out in Florida I'll be speaking at. So jump on our website, go to the events tab. You can see where I'll be. A couple of those events I'll be actually speaking at. But if you're trying to figure out, hey, where do I want to go this year? What events do I want to attend? You can see the ones that I've checked out for us on pmbuild.com. Hey, my friends, I hope that was helpful. I wish you a lot of success as you step in to 25. And until next time, take care.